Hello Libra, and welcome to Ultra Instinct Tarot. My name is Andres, and I'll be the one taking care of you for this reading. So I will be receiving the help from these three homies. They're very good homies. I very much like them. Alright. So, to learn the ways of the Ultra Instinct, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started with the moon. A moon, Libra. Alright, so this is kind of the... Oh, and I flipped right to the page. That's very interesting. The child of the sons of the mighty. So this is... It connects number 7 to number 10. So this is this path right here. Let the illusion of the world pass over thee, unhidden as thou goest from the midnight to the morning. In this trump, her lowest avatar, she joins the earthy sphere of Netzach, with Malkuth, the moon of witchcraft and abominable deeds. She is the poisoned darkness, which is the condition of the rebirth of light. So there can be no sunrise without the darkness that was there before the sun. So there's no doubt about it. This is a spooky card. It represents the light that darkness creates. It is the light that illuminates your dreams and your nightmares. We recall that the trump attributed to the moon is the number 2, the priestess. She is the waxing moon and represents Luna in her highest aspect, that of forming a link between the human and the divine. The path of the priestess crosses the abyss and joins Tefrath and Kether. So that's this part right here. So this might be like a reflection of that, or something similar to what's going on in between here in this path. And this feather just flew. So there's something cool there. So the moon is a very different aspect of Luna, which is that path that we were just talking about. And the most cheerful thing I can think to say about it is, I will change. Interesting. So it's like the opposite of... So it's like the reflection, but the opposite reflection. Yeah, exactly. Because the path going to the abyss is like going home. That's like a home to home path. So this is like a not home to not home path. But to know that you have the home path, you gotta know the not home path. And it will change because life is infinite. Now, before many of my brothers and sisters in the craft take offense, let me hasten to point out that witchcraft Crowley is referring to in the above quote is not in the nature-loving and life-affirming religions of the neo-pagan movements that have proliferated around the world since his death in 1947. It is more the imagined witchcraft spawned in the tortured and obscene fantasies of the fanatic witch hunters. The moonlight of Atu the 18th is that which illuminates the phantasmagoric nightmares of all of us who cannot acknowledge the dark horrors of our own fears. It illuminates the phantasmagoric nightmares of all of us who cannot acknowledge the dark horrors of our own fears. The moon card shows a path through and beyond this nightmare, but it is not an easy path, and the myths of all ages and cultures prove that this journey through the poison darkness is an obligatory chapter in every hero's quest. So imagine watching a movie. Every single movie has a dark part of the hero's journey. You know, there's always a lowest point in the hero's journey. In every single movie. Because the movie wouldn't be as good without it. You know, if he just gets stuff and doesn't go through any struggles, you know, then there's no character development really, and the story is more boring. I think it would be more boring. That's why nobody makes movies like that. There is always an enemy, you know. There is always an evil. There is always an opposite to. There's always an antagonist to the protagonist. So this path is guarded by taboo. She is uncleanliness and sorcery. Upon the hills are the black towers of nameless mystery, of horror and of fear. All prejudice, all superstition, dead tradition and ancestral loathing, all combine to darken her face before the eyes of men. It needs unconquerable courage to begin to tread this path. Harris's rendering is disturbingly haunting, but it is not too dissimilar to the traditional image. The path runs between two towers guarded by twin figures of the Egyptian god Anubis, god of embalming and guardian of cities of the dead. Poisoned blood drips from the dying moon. We're all still talking about this card. The creature walking out of the water at the bottom of the card represents the scarab beetle, symbolic of the Egyptian god Khepra, who is the god of the sun at midnight. That's cool. The god of the sun at midnight. That's really cool. I like that. Traditional decks usually show a crawfish or even a lobster instead of the scarab, and the symbolism of the Lord of the Sun at midnight becomes somewhat lost in memories of melted butter. I must confess, Harris's scarab doesn't look very scarabby either. In fact, it is a water spider. Nevertheless, it carries the sun out of the dark water, and by doing so assures us this awful night will eventually come to an end. And this is the most important part. In the Book of Thoth, Crowley also assures the courageous seeker in his last words concerning this card. I really like this. I really pay attention. Pay attention, Libra. One is reminded of the mental echo of subconscious realization of that supreme inequity which mystics have constantly celebrated in their accounts of the dark night of the soul. But the best men, the true men, do not consider the matter in such terms at all. Whatever horrors may afflict the soul, whatever abominations may excite the loathing of the heart, whatever terrors may assail the mind, the answer is the same at every stage. How splendid is the adventure. That's what the best thing you can take out of this card is, no matter what, how splendid is the adventure. The Empress. Yeah, the Empress knows that the adventure is super splendid and knows that this is worth going through and it is necessary, you know. Wow. Wow, Libra. Alright, you got two major arcanas to start us off, and especially the Moon and the Empress together. This is some cool energy, Libra. You must be going through some crazy stuff right now. Nice. And we have the planetary trump of Venus next to the Pisces. So this path in the Tree of Life is Chakma to Bina, understanding. So this is 2 to 3 right here, this path. This is the harmony of the universe, that love unites the will to create with the understanding of that creation. That love unites the will to create with the understanding of that creation. Understand thou thine own will. So love unites the will to create with the understanding of that creation. Understand thou thine own will. Understand your own will. And then you'll also understand the will that was there, that happened to create you. Love and let love. Rejoice in every shape of love, and get thy rapture and thy nourishment thereof. So she is apparently the door to heaven. So it is impossible to summarize the meanings of the symbol of the woman, so for this very reason that she continually recurs in infinitely varied form, many-throned, many-minded, many-willed, daughter of Zeus. So at least we can say this: Deleth means door, and woman is the door of heaven when we are conceived, and the door of life and when we are born. The Empress is the trump of Venus, and in mythology, Venus or Aphrodite certainly had, or seemed to have had, caused her share of trouble. Most of the time, however, she was less the guileful instigator of mischief and more the tragic victim of circumstances. In either case, almost everybody was in love with her, and she certainly added a bit of spice to the Olympian soap opera. So that door to heaven when we are conceived, where do you come from? Well, it's just darkness. So that's the same darkness that they're talking about over here. Thunderbolt. That's another major arcana. Okay, so Libra, you have no choice options in this situation that you're going through. Everything is happening to you. So enjoy the ride. Enjoy the roller coaster. You when you ride a roller coaster, you don't control anything. You just sit down, fasten your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. So I suggest you enjoy the ride and watch the ride and watch the beauty of how cool life is when we really understand it as a whole. So this Thunderbolt, this is the Tower card. This card shows a tower being burned, destroyed, blown apart. A man and a woman are leaping from it not because they want to, but because they have no choice. The background is a transparent meditating figure representing the witnessing consciousness. You might be feeling pretty shaky right now, as if the earth is rocking beneath your feet. Your sense of security is being challenged, and the natural tendency is to try to hold on to whatever you can. But this inner earthquake is both necessary and tremendously important. If you allow it, you will emerge from the wreckage stronger and more available for new experiences. After the fire, the earth is replenished. After the storm, the air is clear. Try to watch the destruction with detachment, almost as if it were happening to somebody else. Say yes to the process by meeting it halfway. What meditation does slowly, a good shout of the master, unexpectedly, in a situation where the discipline was asking some questions, and the master jumps and shouts or hits him, or throws him out of the door or jumps over him. These methods were never known. It was purely the creative genius of Matsu, and he made many people enlightened. Sometimes it looked so hilarious. He threw a man from the window from a 2-story house, and the man had come to ask on what to meditate. And Matsu not only threw him, he jumped after him, fell on him, sat on his chest, and he said, "Got it?" And the poor fellow said yes, because if you say no, he may beat you or do something else. It is enough. His body is fractured, and Matsu, sitting on his chest, says, "Got it?" And in fact, he got it, because it was so sudden, out of the blue, he could have never conceived it. So yeah, exactly what I was saying. So whatever is going on right now, enjoy the ride, and you will get something. Oh my god. That's the dude that's back there just chilling. Oh wow, what kind of a reading is this? So I think this is the Ace of Clouds, which is the Ace of Swords. Yes it is. This is the Ace of the Mind, the Ace of Swords, which is that mental clarity that would happen after you ask some dude, "Hey, what should I meditate on?" And then he pushes you out of the building, and then he lands on you, and then you're kind of like, "I got it." So that's this guy, the one that's quiet, the consciousness, the Ace of Swords, the mental clarity right after destruction, the silence after that destruction. Yes. So most of the cards in this suit of the mind are either cartoon-like or troubled, because the influence of the mind in our lives is generally either ridiculous or oppressive. But this card of consciousness shows a vast Buddha figure. He is so expansive, he has gone even beyond the stars, and above his head is pure emptiness. So embody this. He represents the consciousness that is available to all who become a master of the mind and can use it as the servant it is meant to be. When you choose this card, it means that there is crystal clarity available right now, detached, rooted in the deep stillness that lies at the core of your being. There is no desire to understand from the perspective of the mind. The understanding you have now is existential, whole in harmony with the pulse of life itself. Accept this great gift and share it. We come from the unknown, and we go on moving into the unknown. We will come again. We have been here thousands of times, and we will be here thousands of times. Our essential being is immortal, but our body, our embodiment, is mortal. Our frame in which we are, our houses, the body, the mind, they are made of material things. They will get tired, they will get old, they will die. But your consciousness, for which Bodhidharma uses the word no mind, Gautam Buddha has also used the word no mind, is something beyond body and mind. That's your consciousness. Something beyond everything. That no mind is eternal. It comes into expression and goes again into the unknown. This movement from the unknown to the known, and from the known to the unknown, continues for eternity, unless somebody becomes enlightened. Then that is his last life. Then this flower will not come back again. This flower that has become aware of itself need not come back to life, because life is nothing but a school in which to learn. He has learned a lesson. He is now beyond delusions. He will move from the known for the first time, not into the unknown, but into the unknowable. And it's going to happen fast. Interesting. Eight of Swords right into the Nine of, or Eight of Wands right into the Nine of Wands. I almost kind of want to go like that. Why? I don't know. But that makes sense. Alright, let's read the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is determination, adversity, exhaustion, the last stand. Trials and tribulations have defined the Wands, and the fool is bruised and battered from strain, exhausted and humbled. He stands with great determination. Pure willpower and perhaps stubbornness have gotten him this far. This card is about establishing and protecting boundaries. A line has been drawn, and the fool has defended himself to both great success and great cost. Take pride in your effort and protect your boundaries. Stand up for yourself. I think that's what I did with this card. Alright, we'll get some last advice from the Office Oracle deck. Meditate. Wow, that's insane. Okay. Alright, so you really got to stop to trying to understand with logic, with your mind, what is going on right now, Libra, and keep watching, because you can only, you're not going to be able to understand it with words, by putting into logic. You're just going to understand it. You'll understand. I'll say it that way. And this is my meditation card. It says, meditate. Sit down somewhere comfortable and but if you're wearing a dress, cross your legs, because nobody wants to see that. Meditate in whatever way is comfortable to you. Just remember, the goal is to be quiet and listen. No, I did not say to not think. Be receptive and watch. Watch what you have to say and watch how you react. So being silent. Interesting. 14 right to the 15. This was the 8 right to the 9. So everything is happening exactly the way it's supposed to be happening. I think this is my My manifestation one? Affirmations and manifestations. So Kelly waits by the office and says, "Yes, Charles, you wanted me." Kelly is thinking that if he says it enough, eventually he will in fact want her. This is the basis of affirmations and manifestation. Affirmations: if you are not confident but wish to be, say to yourself in the mirror every single morning, "I am confident." Even if it's not true, it is a huge difference than telling yourself, "I am not confident," every single day. Now take the last step. Confident people don't need to tell themselves that they are confident, they just are confident. So just be confident. And that's how affirmations would work. Manifestation. Remind yourself of what it is that you want in your life every day. Make it a part of your everyday pattern to somehow remind yourself of what it is you are trying to manifest in your life. When you consistently make it a part of your pattern, you will somehow find a way, and that's this life thing that's happening. You will somehow find a way to have what you want in life, because life will just start doing things. Affirmations and manifestation are all about replacing an old pattern with a new one. Alright, you got this, Libra. I believe in you. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next time.